Today's topic is bioenergetics part 2 thermodynamics. In the part 1, so we have learned about the basics of bioenergetics. So in this topic, so we are learning about three important concepts: enthalpy, entropy, and Gibbs free energy. And also we are learning about the difference between exergonic reactions and endergonic reactions. The first term, enthalpy. So this is very much important term in thermodynamics. Here, this enthalpy is explaining about the chemical energy. So here, energy, it is following the thermodynamics first rule, that is, energy neither created nor destroyed. And here, the energy is converting from one form to another form. Here, chemical energy so is converting into thermal energy sometimes, and thermal energy is converting into chemical energy. So this chemical energy, so which is present in a system, so which is mainly due to moving electrons and vibration of chemical bonds and rotation and translation of molecules. For example, if you're assuming that this is the chemical energy here which is present in the chemical bonds, so these are the atoms, these are the molecules which are having chemical energy. So these atoms and molecules will be vibrating. So due to vibration of this thing, these atoms or molecules, here the chemical energy will be produced, and this energy will be two types. So kinetic energy and potential energy. So this is the definition of enthalpy. So here the enthalpy is measuring uh, the heat energy, so which is present in the system. So that heat energy is in the form of kinetic and potential energy, so which is measured at a constant pressure here. So enthalpy change, which is measured by delta H, so which is equals to heat of final minus heat of initial. So here final means products. Here enthalpy change, which is equals to heat exchange of final products minus heat exchange of reactants. So this enthalpy is measured by joules or kilojoules per mole. And here in this slide, so this enthalpy is explaining about exothermic reactions. So this is the graph which is representing exothermic reactions. Here reactants are having higher energy levels and products are having lower energy levels. So here reactants are having a higher energy levels due to increase in the chemical energy, that is by increasing the interactions between molecules and atoms. By increasing the chemical interactions between molecule and atoms, here the kinetic and potential energy will be increases. And here the increased chemical energy is trying to lost itself. So that's why here the energy will be lost from the system, and after some time, so this chemical energy will be decreases and finally forming a products. So that means here by the system, here energy will be lost. So that's why this is called exothermic reactions. In bioenergetics, we can call it as uh, um, exergonic reactions. And the next one is endothermic reactions. Here energy will be supplied to the system. So initially the reactants are having lower energy states. That means the reactants are having lower chemical energies, and here energy will be supplied, the heat energy will be supplied, and these molecules and atoms which are present in these reactants will be vibrating and rotating. Then it is the chemical energy will be increases due to increasing the kinetic energy and potential energy in it, and finally it is converting into products. So that means here to convert into the product it requires some energy, so that energy will be supplied by heat energy. So that's why this is the system is taking the energy. So that's why this is called endothermic reaction. That means so here energy will be supplied to the system. So these are the examples for the enthalpy. So here N2O4, so which is in gas form, so which is converting into 2 moles of NO2, which is also gas form. So that means 1 mole of reactants are converting into 2 moles of products. So according to enthalpy change, So here this is the formula for enthalpy change, that is delta H, which is equals to H products minus H reactants. So here enthalpy change is measured here for this reaction, that is delta H plus equals to plus 57.93 kilojoules. So why? Because here products energy, chemical energy will be more than reactants chemical energy. Here 1 mole is available for the reactants and 2 moles are available for the products. So here, so this is giving exothermic reaction, sorry, endothermic reaction. So that's what delta H equals to plus 57.93 kilojoules. So if you reverse this reaction, that is 2 moles of NO2, so which is giving 1 mole of N2O4, so that gives here exothermic reaction. So that means it is giving minus values of heat exchange. And the second term is entropy. So this is also very much important term, so which is denoted by delta S. Here the entropy values will be measuring the disorder or randomness of the system. See, if you see the system, so this system is having a single chamber, then here the randomness will be present. So if these gas molecules are allowing to this chamber, the randomness will be increases. So that means if you are comparing with the previous case, here the randomness will be increased in the second case. So that's why here entropy will be increases with the disorder or randomness increases. So here the entropy will be measured by joule per mole Kelvin or joule Kelvin. And this entropy values will be useful for will be applied by second law of thermodynamics. And here the second law of thermodynamics will be explaining that heat can flow from hot bodies to cold bodies. So that's why here the entropy of the universe is constantly increasing. That means here the heat will be produced by sun. So the temperature of the sun is more than planet's temperature. So here it will be expanding. So entropy will be expanding since so many years. So this is giving about entropy. And here also in this picture, so we can identify the entropy, how it is moving from solids to gas, and solids are orderly arranged. So here if you are comparing the liquids, so liquids are slightly disordered comparing with the solids, and here gases are more disordered, so when it is comparing with the liquids. So that means the entropy is low for the solids and entropy is high for the gases. That means entropy is moving from solids to gases in this direction, upward direction. So here we are measuring the entropy change delta S, which is equals to entropy of products minus entropy of reactants. And this is the example for the entropy. So here C3H8 molecule, so 1 mole of C3H8 molecule is reacting with 5 moles of oxygen molecules, and which is giving 3 moles of carbon dioxide and 4 moles of H2O and heat and light. So if you are comparing this is the reactants of the reaction, and these are the products of the reaction. That means here 6 molecule of reactants are reacted and forming 7 molecules along with heat to be produced as products. So that means the product entropy will be increased. So why? Because here entropy is completely depending upon the disorientation. So here it is having more disorientation than so reactants. So cavity here, so S is having more. So the enthalpy is more for products so than reactants. So that's why here, so we can write delta S values become positive. So why? Because products will be more than reactants. In the second case here, so products enthalpy of products is less than enthalpy of reactants. So here these are the reactants. So hydrogen gas, which is reactive with oxygen and forming water molecules. So here hydrogen and gas and oxygen gas will be in gaseous form. So that means in gaseous form, molecules or atoms are very free in nature. So these are completely disordered. And in liquid, if you are comparing with the gas, liquid is slightly ordered. So that's why here the entropy, if you are comparing the entropies of these two systems, so here the gas system is having more entropy than comparing with the liquids. So that's why here we are getting delta S values will be negative. So here in this slide, so it is explaining about the Gibbs free energy. So this is the formula. So that delta G naught, which is equal to delta H naught minus T into delta S naught. Here delta G naught, which is represented by Gibbs free energy, so which is measured by joule or kilojoules, and delta H, so which is already we told that enthalpy, and delta S will be entropy, and T is the temperature, which is measured in Kelvin. Here Gibbs free energy will be measured by two important reactions, exergonic reactions and endergonic reactions. In exergonic reactions, so here delta G value will be less than 0. So that means negative values we can get in exergonic reactions. Why? Because here energy will be supplied, or energy will be coming out from the system. So here it is a spontaneous reaction. And whereas in case of endergonic reactions, here delta G values will be more than 0. That means here we are getting positive values. So that means here it is a non-spontaneous reaction. And this is the relationship between exergonic reactions and endergonic reactions. So this is the graphical representation. Here on y-axis we are taking Gibbs free energy, on x-axis we are taking reaction. So if you are comparing these two, here the two graphs will be quite opposite. In exergonic reactions, so reactants are having more Gibbs free energy than products. So that means, so initially the reactants, so which are having more Gibbs free energy. So that's why here, so energy will be released. So after some time energy will be released. So that means here delta G values will be less than 0. So here it is energy will be released. So we can call it as minus. So minus sign will be applicable here. So due to exergonic reactions. So these exergonic reactions are spontaneous, and the second one is endergonic reactions. So here endergonic reactions, which is completely opposite to the exergonic reactions, initially the reactants are having less Gibbs free energy, and here so it requires more energy to reach the products. So that means here activation energy is needed. So energy will be supplied to the system. So here this the system will be taking the energy, and then the reactants become products. So here we are supplying the energy. So that's why this is endergonic reactions. Here energy will be going inside the system. So that's why here delta G values will be more than 0. That means we are getting positive values. And here the reaction is non-spontaneous. So why? Because this is exergonic reactions. And these are the different cases of Gibbs free energy. So delta G value, so which is equals to delta H minus T delta S naught. So if you are taking minus values for delta H, so that means here enthalpy values will be minus. So minus here enthalpy will be depending upon chemical energies. So if the chemical energy will be decreases, that means if the kinetic and potential energies will be decreases in the system, if the interactions of molecules will be decreases in the system, and then we can denote it as minus. So here, and delta S values, so which is mainly depending upon disorientation, disorder, and if the molecules are more disordered, then here it is giving positive values. So at this case, so here minus delta H values and plus delta S values, then here the system is giving exergonic reactions and spontaneous reactions. And the second case is delta H values will be positive. So that means here the chemical energy will be increasing. So here more potential and kinetic energy will be increasing due to more interactions between molecules and atoms. And here delta S values will be negative. So that means here orientation will be decreasing. So that means here it is why? Because here entropy is mainly depending upon disorientation, but here minus indicates that so it is orderly oriented organized. So this is the second case. Here at this condition, here it is giving endergonic reaction and non-spontaneous reactions at all temperatures. And the third case here, so delta H values minus will be minus. So that means here chemical energy will be decreasing, and delta S values will be minus. So here also, so entropy values will be decreasing. So that means here entropy values, as already told, that entropy values are depending upon disorientation here. So orientation is ordered, so that's why here it is giving negative values at this condition. So here temperature, if the temperature is low, then it is giving spontaneous reactions. If the temperature is more, then it is giving non-spontaneous reaction. So this is the example for this case. So 2 moles of sulfur dioxide, so which is reacting with oxygen and forming 2 moles of sulfur trioxide. So here all molecules are in gaseous form. So here at this condition, so here if you are increasing the temperature, then it is giving non-spontaneous, spontaneous, and sorry, if you are increasing the temperature, it is giving non-spontaneous reaction, and if you are decreasing the temperature, and it is giving a spontaneous reaction. And the fourth case here is delta H values will be positive. So that means here the chemical energy will be increased for the system, and delta S values will be increased. So that means disordered atoms or molecules are present in the system. So at this condition here, so if you are increasing the temperature, then the reaction will be spontaneous. So if you're decreasing the temperature, then the reaction will be non-spontaneous. So this is the example for this case. So here water molecule, so which is converting into water. So solid is converting into liquid. So that means it is here ice cube is melting. So at this condition, so here when we are increasing the temperature, so here what here the ice cube will be melted. So that means it is a spontaneous reaction at above temperatures 0, and below temperatures then it is giving non-spontaneous reaction. So this is about thermodynamics, so which is very much important topic to know the energy changes from one form to another form, and also to know the energy containing high energy containing cells, and the information about the biochemical reactions, exergonic and endergonic reactions. Thank you.